Hello my YouTube friends! Today I'm going to show you some more basics about streamerbot and all the amazing things that it can do for your live stream. Today we're going to touch on alert systems. I'm going to show you how to create 2 different alerts for your live stream. Really easy. And for those of you who don't know, streamerbot is a tool that can create all kinds of amazing effects for your live stream totally free. We've got a lot to get to today, so you know what? Let's get to it! Streamerbot is totally free, and there are links down below in the description so you can download it, install it, and follow along with me. That is the best way to learn. Let's jump right in. Once you have Streamerbot installed, let's connect it to the platforms that we want to use. First, we're going to go to platforms. And you can see they have Twitch, YouTube, Trovo, VStream. For YouTube, all you have to do is go ahead and click the sign in with Google, and it's going to take you through the same connection process that you would have with any of the other apps. So you just select the account you want to stream with and walk through the process, and it will set it up. And then you just want to click the auto connect button. With Twitch, it pretty much works the same way. So you just go over here to accounts and you log in to your Twitch account, and you can set up a bot account on either YouTube or Twitch. And what that means is you can have a second account that's going to post things in chat for you, so it doesn't always look like you're the one doing it. You know, it could be Michael Feyrer Jr. bot or whatever instead of this. And you could create as many Google accounts as you want to be able to do that. So if you want to have a bot account that does all the responses in the chat from Streamerbot, you could do that pretty easily. So once you have your YouTube account connected, the next thing you want to do is connect your Stream app. So you can see I have OBS connected here, and this is going to work on OBS 28 or higher because it connects through the WebSocket. Let me show you what I mean. So we've got OBS, you can name it pretty much whatever you want. And the version 5 is the WebSocket. Version 5 is what's built into any of the OBS post version 28. If you are using version 27, you'll have to download the WebSocket from OBS's plugins, and then you select the version for that. But the host and the port information is pretty much the same. It's very unlikely that anyone who's watching this is going to be using anything other than a newer version than version 28. Then you want to have a reconnect at startup and reconnect on disconnect, and you retry interval and click OK. And you can see down here it shows that I am connected to both my YouTube account and my OBS account, which means that we're already in OBS. So if I select that, you can actually see over here my current scene is screen, and you know, your status, not streaming. I am recording, obviously, and it shows you the actual sources that are in that particular scene. So my display capture, which is what we're capturing right here, audio input capture for my microphone, and the screen, which would be this screen right here. So that is how you initially set up Streamerbot, so it's connected to the platforms it needs to be connected to do all of the cool things that I'm going to show you next. So I'll quickly walk you through the tabs that we have going on here. When you're live here in the viewer tab, it's going to show you all the viewers. So if you uncheck this, it will show you anyone who's ever connected to this particular version of Streamerbot as a viewer. Your actions. This is where you can tell Streamerbot the actions that you want it to take and the sub-actions and what triggers those actions. We're definitely going to get into that. The action queue allows you to queue up those actions so they're not all happening at one time. So you've got pending actions, your queues, and your action history right here. And it will be more self-explanatory once we actually have some actions that might be pending or anything like that. Commands is where you could put in commands that are related to anything that you're doing where you're going to expect some sort of viewer input, like chat commands and that sort of thing. Platforms, obviously Twitch, YouTube, Trovo, VStream. This is where you set up the platforms that you're going to be streaming to. Streaming apps allows you to set up the platforms that you're going to use to stream. So they've got OBS, Streamlabs, and Polypop. Integrations is a list of all kinds of applications and websites that you can use to increase the functionality of Streamerbot. So you've got Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Voice Mod, Donor Drive, Pulsoid, all kinds of really cool stuff. Streamerbot website right here, VTube Studio. You could set this up with your Elgato speaker bot, and we can go all the way to the end. Twitch integrated throwing system, all kinds of very cool stuff. These are all integrated directly into Streamerbot and allow you to add more functionality to what Streamerbot can control and do. MIDI allows you to integrate some audio and voice control aspects to streamerbot. You've got your hotkeys, so you can select hotkeys that can do different functions. Server and clients, so this is where you'd put in your WebSocket server if you wanted something to communicate directly with streamerbot. You've got your initial settings, and I've never actually even looked in here, so it's not something you're going to really need to know. The about, which tells you a little bit about the streamerbot application. It gives you the opportunity to go ahead and sign in down here to interact with folks who set this up and do all the work to support it. Up here at the top, you've got this drop down where you've got save and import, export, all kinds of different stuff. You can add suggestions. You can go to the documentation and you can open the log folder. You're definitely going to go to the documentation on occasion to figure out how to set up different things in streamerbot, so it's good to know how to get to it. You can also contribute to the further development of streamerbot with Patreon or Ko-fi, and I highly recommend if you use it and you like it, you do so. You can also save, import, and export, and that's pretty much the open interface for streamerbot. Next, I want to show you how you might want to integrate some sort of alert for super chats or something like that. So let's take a quick look at that. It's really easy. The first thing I want to do is set something up in here so that we can kind of get an idea of what we want our alerts to be. So let's say we wanted our alert to change scenes for us for a certain period of time. Well, let's just create another scene. We'll call it alert. We'll click OK. And in this scene, I'm going to add a source clone. And what I'm going to do is select my camera, and we're going to clone my camera. And the reason why we're going to clone my camera is so that we can add some filters. So I'm going to go in here and we're going to add a filter in here for our background removal. And there we go. And then what I'm going to do is add a background here. So let's go and select a media source. And what I'm going to do is find a video file for our background. And we'll loop it, and there we go. So we're going to use that video source as our background. We'll just move this down below here. So we know that this is our alert scene if we're going to switch to that. So we'll switch it back over to this scene, and what we're going to do is go back into streamerbot here, and we're going to create an alert. Let's call this one Super Chat. And we can create an alert group to make it easier to find these. And there we go. So now we have this in alerts. We're going to go into our Super Chat here, and we're going to go up to triggers, and we're going to go to YouTube, and we're going to find Super Chat right here. And we can set up a minimum or maximum for our Super Chat. So let's say we want this to be 0 and 25. There we go. So that's 0 to 25. Then what we're going to do is we're going to right click on here, and we're going to go to OBS, and we're going to go to our set active scene. And we're going to set our active scene for this to alert. So there we go. So now when we get a super chat that's between $0 and $25, it's going to set our active scene to alert. And so we want to go ahead and go to core and delay. And how long do we want this to last? So for the purposes of this video, let's make it last 3 seconds. Actually, let's make it last 5 seconds. And we'll click OK. And then what we're going to do is we're going to right click on here. We're going to just duplicate this. And down here, we're going to go ahead and double click. And we're going to set the active scene back to scenes. So there we go. So now when we get a super chat between $0 and $25, it is going to change our scene to our alert scene, and it's going to last for 5 seconds and then change it back to our main scene. Let's see if it works. We'll right click and we'll test the trigger. And there we go. It automatically makes this our alert scene, and then it switches us back after 5 seconds. So what we could do here is modify our alert name, and we'll right click and we're going to go to edit, and we'll call this super chat 0 to 25 and click OK. And what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this. We'll call this 26 to 50 and we'll click OK. And it still has this, but what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and edit this so that this is 26 and this is 50. And now what we can do is remove this and set up a completely different alert for $26 to $50. So we don't want it to go to this one. We could set up another scene that it could switch to, or we can set up some kind of alert that would show up right here. So let's go ahead and click the plus. And we're going to go into our media sources, and let's see if we can find an alert that we want to come up here. So let's call this alert 26-50. and we'll click OK. We're going to browse, and we're going to see if we could find an alert on the system here that we want to use. And let's use this one right here, and we're going to click open, and we don't need to loop it or anything like that, so you can see what this looks like, and it just has that, and there we go. So what we can do for this one is we're just going to turn it off, and we're going to go over here into streamerbot, and we're going to go ahead and delete this stuff right here. We're going to right click, and we're going to go to OBS, and we're going to go to sources, and we're going to go to set source visibility state right here, and we want our scene to be seen, and we want to enable our alert 26 to 50, and we want to set the state to visible and click OK. And then we want a delay, so let's see how long this actually is. This is 9 seconds. So what we could do is go back in here, and we're going to go to core, set our delay, and it's going to be 9,000. Click OK, and we can duplicate this right here, and then we can go ahead and double click and set the visibility state to hidden. Click OK. So now when we trigger this, because we get a super chat between 26 and 50, it's going to bring this up, show us our super chat alert. It's going to run for 9 seconds, and then you're going to see the eyeball turn off. And there you go. So if you wanted to have text in there, you're going to have to put in some text. So what we can do is we'll go ahead and add a text element to this. We're going to go to text GDI, and we'll call this alert text and click OK. And then we can just type out some test text. We can go and select our font or whatever we want. Click OK. What we're going to do is put this where our alert is going to run. So let's start our alert up, and we might want our text to be right here, which would be the user's name or whatever. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go down here, and we're going to set our alignment to center. So that means that it's going to, if the text goes all the way out here, it'll center it up on that area there. So when we play the alert, our text is going to show up right there. It's going to look fine. And so what we need to do is just go ahead and delete the text that we have in here. Click OK. And now we can go back into our streamerbot, and we can set up our text element. And here is where it's going to be important for us to understand what our variables are. So we're going to go in here, and we're going to go and get our documentation. So we want to go to the triggers, YouTube, and the streamerbot documentation. This is going to tell us everything we need to know. So in the super chat, we want the amount of the super chat. So that is amount, that's the name. And we want the username, which is user. So then we can go over here and right click, and we're going to go into OBS, and we're going to go to sources, and we want to go to our set GDI text right here. And so then we've got our scene, which is scene, and we've got our source, which is alert text. And then we could put right here percentage user percentage. So that is this variable, right? That's this variable right here, user. And then what we could do is say thanks for the super chat. And then in between super chat and there, what we could put is percentage, amount, percentage, and we'll put a little exclamation point at the end. And so this is going to go ahead and make this visible with this text. So we're going to put that right here. And right now, that is at the end. So we're going to move it up here. And we also need to make this visible. So if you look in our OBS right here, our text is turned off, so we can't see it. So the best way to do that would be to come in here, go right here, right click, go to OBS, and we're going to go into sources and set source visibility state. So we want to be in our scene. We want to set the visibility of our alert text to visible. Click OK, and we're going to move that up here. So now our alert text is visible, and we're going to go ahead and duplicate this. And then we're going to double click, and we're going to set our alert text to hidden. Click OK. I'm going to move it up above this. So now when we do this, it's going to create the text for us, and it's going to come on, and well, let's see how this works out. Let's go ahead and test it. And there we go. So this obviously didn't center it up the way that we would want it to. So what we can do is go into our alert text and go into properties, and let's see what the problem is. And once you play around with it long enough, you will get to the point where your text will be centered properly and everything will be working right. So when you test your trigger, you can see we get the text that we want. It comes on for the amount of time that we want, and then it's just going to go ahead and disappear after the amount of time that's scheduled. So in this case, 9,000 milliseconds. It's really that simple. So now we have created 2 different alerts for 2 different value systems. Now, if you are not monetized, so you don't have access to super chats, that's really not a problem. You can use integrations in the same way that we are getting this information directly from YouTube. But if we wanted to just set up a tip donation thing, we can go into integrations and we can set up for Streamlabs or Stream Elements and set up the tip or donation thing with them. And then what we can easily do is, instead of setting our actions to trigger on YouTube, we can right click here and we can set our actions to trigger on integrations. In this case, Stream Elements tips or Streamlabs donations. And then all the rest of this stuff could be exactly the same. Streamlabs will notify streamerbot that you got a donation, and it will cause that trigger to happen, and then all these things will happen. So you don't have to be monetized to use streamerbot. You can use the other integrated tools that are available. In this case, Streamlabs and Stream Elements both have triggers for donations that you can set up whether you're monetized or not. Now, this is just the tip of the iceberg on the things that you can do with alerts. You can set up 100 different alerts for each tier of donation or super chat or whatever you want. It's absolutely incredible, and they can do all kinds of different and amazing things. The limit is truly your imagination. If there is something that you'd like me to show you how to do in StreamerBot, you should let me know down below in the comments. And if you want to see a video that shows you how you can have the chat activate different effects on your live stream, you should check this video out. And if you're always looking for tools, tips, and tricks to help make you a better live streamer or YouTuber, subscribe to the channel. My name is Michael Feyrer Jr. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.